Creativity is an act of love, sometimes gentle, sometimes tumultuous, but always transformative. And love, like creativity, is fluid. It moves with the path of least resistance, shifting states and finding its way into our lives in unexpected forms. Creativity doesn't need force, it just needs space to flow. And just as love can be romantic, platonic, or self-directed, our relationship with creativity can take so many forms. Some days it sweeps in like a grand romance, and other days it arrives quietly, like morning mist. The key is to remain open to its arrival in whatever form it takes. And instead of chasing and clutching and clawing your way into inspiration, can you cultivate an environment where creativity just naturally wants to be there? Physical environments, spiritual, digital, emotional, spaces and places where creativity can land and say, I see you, now come to me. How do I fall in love with the creative process again? And then again and again and again, and it doesn't end, and why should it? I had this moment, like literally this morning and then a few days ago, because I'm on holiday and I haven't taken a break like this for a long time, where I'm with friends and as soon as I get a moment of, I give myself a moment just to kind of like unwind and take this like load of I have to create off my brain. In slips creativity, but not as like a sketch or a painting, but as a, hey, like use me. Like honestly, it's like a personification of creativity. And she's like, and he, and whatever it is just like, use me and love me and like never let me go. And I don't know if you can relate, but I feel like September is almost New Year's energy of this back to school spirit. And it doesn't, even if you've graduated, it doesn't die. This idea of, okay, I'm gonna reinvent myself this time. This time can be different. This time I'm gonna make this intention. And I think that's really magical and really beautiful. And I think it's slightly naive. And I buy into it. And I realize that what sustains me creatively is the least viable option and taking the pressure off. So for me, when I travel, I made it like a necessity to carry a small sketchbook and paintbrushes with me and to identify as someone who always has that. And even when maybe people look at me and laugh and think it's trivial or think how naive, I bet her life is nice that she does that. It's like, no, this is actually really important to me. And I think that creativity and love are so similar, where you don't just fall in love once and you don't just rise into love once, you choose to love over and over and over. And it's like you don't just fall into creativity, at least if you're not intentional about it. You choose it, and there are trade-offs and there are sacrifices, and eventually those sacrifices and trade-offs become the new norm, and they're the ground that you walk on, and then you rise again, and like you rise into love, you rise into creativity. And when you have those moments where you're burnt out or it's become rote or routine or mundane, you kind of reduce the importance. So I try to and just say, okay, it's just part of the process. Breathe and just remember to fall in love again. Remember to find creativity. Remember that nature gives, radiance gives, and your natural baseline is creativity. The natural baseline is love and connection. And the moment you're not in that, that's when something isn't right. And to me, this back to school spirit is like, okay, find connection, find love, find creativity, fall in love, and don't be so naive to think it's just going to be like September is going to last you through till January or the next year. So how do you fall in love again? You stop searching for the fireworks, and instead you notice the small sparks. You make room for wonder. You write, you paint, you sing, you move, not because you need an audience, but because the act of creation is itself a love letter to life.